What is up, everyone? It is Monday again, and it's also Christmas, so Merry Christmas, everyone. We are going to have a Monday meta game update because I missed last week, and also because it's Monday. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so for today, we're looking at standard, historic, alchemy, and the new format, timeless. We actually got a lot of new brews for the timeless format, and if you haven't tried it out, it is a lot of fun, I will admit. At least until something broken gets to the top of the format. For now, it's very, very fun, but it is also very expensive, which is a little bit sad. But yeah, let's talk about it. So in standard, there's not really been any new cards, so we're still seeing around the same top decks. Though the Selesnya Humans is a little bit new. It's got like Catilda, it's got some actually pretty interesting stuff, so we'll take a look at that. Mono red, of course, we all know mono red, nothing really new there. Mono white, nothing new there. Zorius Control, this is the one with Jace to mill people out. Not a whole lot new there either. And then Enchantments and Boros, both also very good and at the top. So the Selesnya is the only new one. Right, I can't actually look it up right now. So we'll just have to look at this preview here, but we got, looks like a lot of mono white splashing green for Catilda and the angel that buffs the team here. Sigarda, I think it is. So yeah, interesting. Somebody made a new version of humans splashing green, but basically aggro still best in best of one. Best of three, we got the domain deck here at number one. We got Golgari mid-range also doing very well. Esper mid-range doing very well. Boros Convoke doing very well. And Mono Red doing very well. So nothing too surprising there. Again, nothing new in standard. So we'll just move on. Historic, Ninjas, and Geist still remain at the top two spots on the ladder. We did get a new set a few weeks ago, but not good enough to really shake up too many things. And yeah, so these are still pretty much the best in Historic. And then in Alchemy, we did get a Alchemy set, same as what affected of Historic, but again, nothing really big out of that last Alchemy set to really affect anything. So we still have Legends, Mono Red, a Gruul, like a red, Mono Red splashing green. And there is a dinosaur deck with Discover that was doing pretty good. And I think Merfolk was actually doing okay for a while, but I don't see it on this list. So I think Merfolk is a viable deck in Alchemy. All right, and then Timeless, this is the one that everyone is hyped about. According to Untapped.gg, Rakdos Burn is the top spot, which is a bit surprising for me. So we've got Ragavan, of course, we've got Loris, we've got the Firebolt. No, what is it? I'm being stupid right now, but Lightning Bolt, thank you. Lightning Bolt, you got all the prowess creatures in there. So, Dragon Rage Channeler, etc. So, Rakdos Burn, it's good in Historic. It's really good in Timeless with all the banned cards there. And then we got a Zoo deck here, which is Domain Zoo. It's making use of a lot of the other cards in Historic and Timeless now, which care about the lands entering the battlefield. So you got to get a bunch of different types, like this not Flame Tongue, but this Kazu card here, which is kind of a big card. So yeah, very interesting to see what is at the top of the list. Rakdos Burn Domain, a domain version of the deck. Mono Black Control. Now this one makes sense to me because Necropotence, Dark Ritual into Necropotence is a pretty solid combo. We've got the Death Priest as well, and the Bowmasters, all of which are very strong. So Deathrite Shaman, that's the one. Deathrite Shaman, Necropotence, Dark Ritual, all of those very powerful black cards. So makes sense that this would be very strong. And then Rakdos as well, which is basically the same thing, but plays Ragavan and the Lightning Bolt in it. Um, Tier 2, we see some weird stuff. Mono green elves, Jund, mono red Ponza. Um, yeah, and then the rest of it doesn't have a very great win rate. But you'll see from the brews that we got on Twitter that there actually are quite a lot of cool stuff going on here. All right, before we move on to the Twitter brews, I wanted to share the Rakdos burn list. That's the top deck right now in Timeless. So as you can see, Bowmasters, Ragavan, uh, Dragon Rage Channeler, and Monastery Swiftspear. Then you've got just all kinds of burn spells, Lightning Bolt, etc. Like I mentioned, Mishra's Bauble and Lurrus. So really is just a quick aggro deck that is using quite a few ban cards, especially Mishra's Bauble, Lightning Bolt, and Ragavan. So that's kind of how you get in under everything else and, gets you that 63% win rate right there. So yeah, let's move on to the Twitter stuff. So for Twitter, we have a tournament result from Robert Taylor for this MTGO Standard Challenge. So this is Standard Decks, and Rakdos Discover actually took down the first spot, which is pretty sweet. And then second place was Demir Schooner, third place Azorius Soldiers, and fourth place Red Deck Wins. So that's kind of some of your top decks in Standard right now. We already knew that about Mono Red and the Soldiers, and this wasn't on ontap.gg, but a lot of people are playing this Demir Schooner Tempo E deck, especially in tournaments. They're doing quite well with it. Maybe it's not the top ladder deck, but it is a respectable best 3 deck for sure. And then Rakdos Discover. This is one I had a lot of success with. I've also tried like a Mardu version and a few other things. And it's pretty fun. And this version of it, actually, I didn't do that great with, because I found a lot of people on the ladder were prepared for this and had a lot of removals. So it's a good deck, but this is a bit tricky to play, I think, and I had much more success with different versions of this deck. All right, well, let's look at some of the brews. Most of these are in Timeless. There's a few Standard, but a lot of Timeless decks. So first one, Death and Taxes, Black White from MTG Joe, and he went on a win streak with this one. Giver of Runes, we got Deathrite Shaman, Kellen, Orcish Bowmaster, the Juggernaut Peddler, which gets rid of cards from the opponent and gives them Juggernauts. Voice of Resurgence. So I'm seeing a lot of like bouncy type things, and Extraction Specialist can get them back from the graveyard pretty easily. And then your Inquisitor Captain is kind of like your Collected Company effect, though I don't really see any Death and Taxes that they mentioned, so that's a little bit strange to call it this, but just I guess really good ETB type effects for the most part, and a little bit of discard on the opponent's hand or removal of the creatures and things like that. But anyway, pretty cool. Name doesn't quite match, but yeah, pretty cool. Next one is Natural Order. This is a really busted card in green. Of course, it is 4 mana, so you could lose before you get to it, but usually you'll make it there. And you can bring in Primeval Titan, Titan of Industry, some really insane creatures from your deck onto the battlefield. So yeah, it's pretty sick. And then yeah, Kami of Bamboo Groves and Arboreal Graves are both perfect for this because they just sit on the battlefield, do nothing, and then you sack that to pay for your Natural Order. And yeah, that's pretty crazy. So it's kind of like a ramp deck, and your Natural Order helps you get there much faster. All right, next one, Timeless Blue Moon. So Blue Moon is based around the Blood Moon deck. This was one, I forget who built this deck, but it was very popular maybe a few months ago in Pioneer, I believe. So now that Timeless kind of has all these cards that we can use, especially Blood Moon, it's a chance to try to play something like this. Pretty cool. Archmage Charm, very strong, but not banned in Historic. And then Counterspell, of course, is Spreading Seas is Blood Moon is Spreading Seas. That's pretty interesting too. And then you get to play Ragavan if you're in red and Lightning Bolt. So Yeah, that's a pretty cool deck. I will probably have to check this out at some point, but it is very expensive because so many banned cards in here. There's probably a lot you don't have. Next one, Timeless Cooked, they called it. So this one, it's pretty much just like a mono red, but it's running this Overcooked card. Players can't gain life, and I can't really read the video. The quality on the pictures is a little bit too low, unfortunately. But it's Blood Moon is the main thing. You got your basically mono red deck, and Overcooked, I'm assuming, does something with artifacts since you got Ornithopter and Retrofitter Foundry and Mishra's Bauble and things like that. All right, next one up. This is Rakdos Midrange. A lot of people playing Rakdos, different versions of it. This is no different. Lightning Bolt, um, Stalactite Stalker, Stitcher Supplier. So this is like a mill, Rakdos mill, and then you got your Souls of the Light Lost to be your big thing, your Croxa to be your big thing, Demonic Tutor, Bloodghast. This is almost a historic playable deck. There's a, I guess, Lightning Bolt and Mishra's Bauble, and your fetch. Oh, I guess all your fetch lands make a big difference. So yeah, fetch lands does matter, and Goblin Bombardment does matter. So yeah, there's that. All right. So the next list, this is from a Japanese player. This is Primeval Titan, Natural Order, Karn. So this is kind of like a green Karn deck, but it's splashing blue for Oko, I guess. So just a lot of really busted planeswalkers. Once upon a time here. Also a very busted card that got banned in like every format. So really abusing the broken green and green blue cards. Unfortunately, we don't know what the sideboard is because it's Japanese and it's a little bit hard to tell what everything is with just the text. But yeah, you get the idea. Primeval Titan, Natural Order, Oko, and some ramp, etc. So yeah, another pretty cool deck there. Ring Temp's Prowess. So this is a prowess-based deck. You got, it's kind of like your wizards in Historic, but now you've got Lightning Bolt and you've got Mishra's Bauble, of course, Brainstorm, um, and Underworld Breach. I think is not banned, but it just lets you recast a lot of your spells. So yeah, just a kind of like wizards, but you're getting a few more of the really good cards in there. So that's sweet. Okay, this one is a standard list, and this is Gruul Dinos. This person went on a really good win rate with the Gruul Dinos, and so I wanted to share this one because not a lot of people had success with Dinos, and it was very, like a very prominent deck at the beginning. A lot of people thought it was very good, but not a lot of people had like a solid list. So, this one is very good. This person, I think, went like 35 and 8 something like that. So very high win rate with Gruul Dinos. So that's pretty cool in standard. And yeah, I know this is a little out of order. Sorry about that, but we're back in Timeless. This is Mistman, the Archmage of control decks, and of course he made a Dimir control list for Timeless. He's really abusing the fetch lands. He's got quite a lot of them in here, with the Flooded Strand, Polluted Delta, and maybe that's it, but yeah, it makes a big difference having 7 fetch lands. And then we have Mishra's Bauble also to get stuff in your graveyard. And then one of your main payoffs is Dig Through Time, which you want to delve for that. Drown in the Lock also gets paid off for you, kind of like churning through all your cards very quickly. Lorien Revealed, you cycle it, you get it in your graveyard. Brainstorm, you get in your graveyard early. So all of these, just trying to fill the graveyard pretty quickly, and then having some payoff cards for that. And then you just control until you win the game with Bowmasters. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. This is similar deck I'm playing. I'm playing a slightly different version of this, but um, yeah, it is pretty sweet, and it works well against most of the decks in the format. Not all of the decks. There's a few that will just kind of beat this, but it works pretty well. And back in standard again, real quick. This is a Notorious Exile deck that this person went on a super huge win rate up into Mythic, I believe. Yeah, Diamond to Mythic. And They're playing like PNLR, Get Lost, Wedding Announcement, and then all the Discover cards. This is pretty close to the one that I'm playing right now. I ended up going with, I think, a Mardu list is my go-to list, but this is pretty respectable as well with PNLR and Wedding Announcement and stuff like that. So pretty cool. Finally, the last deck, Mono Green Field. Once Upon a Time, busted. Uro, busted. Of course, Field of Ruin, Field of the Dead is busted. Field of the Dead, Primeval Titan also busted. So this is just getting a bunch of lands into play as quickly as possible, getting your Field of the Dead, and then making like 7 or 20 or a million zombies and killing your opponent. So this deck was really broken before. It's still broken in Timeless. Of course, the Rakdos deck could get under this if it's quick enough. But if you don't kill this by probably turn 4 or 5, then it's going to win the game. Alright, well that is it for now. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays everyone. Hope you're having a good time with your family. And if you're watching my video, why are you watching my video on Christmas? Spend time with your friends and family. And I hope you can have some fun in these formats, especially Timeless right now. Very, very cool. I'm enjoying it a lot, and uh, hope to see you guys later. So, yeah, until next time. See ya.